my name is Armageddon. Today we're going to be trying this week's Midweek Magic event, which is Cascade Brawl. So you have an emblem that says the first spell you cast each turn has Cascade. And what that means is that when you cast your first spell, you exile cards from the top of your library until you find a card with a lesser mana value than the spell you cast, and you can cast that spell for free. And then of course, as you win games, you get prizes. You get 2 individual card rewards of at least rare rarity for the first 2 wins and mystery cosmetic for the third. So let's take a look at our deck. I won't go over the whole deck. Whoops, let's do this properly. But just to show you that there is a mix of mana values, I even have a few 0 mana value cards so that my 1-drops can cascade into them. And the game plan, as you can see, is to ramp in the early turns and then start playing some heavy hitters. And we're kind of building around Gigantha as our companion and Niv-Mizzet Guild Pact. So we have lots of permanents with exactly 2 colors. Anyway, let's give this a shot and see how we do. On the draw, we're facing off against Emoti Celebrant of Bounty. So opponent's game plan is to cascade multiple times once they get Emoti on the battlefield. We've got some ramp. OG is pretty good with Cascade as you're casting your second spell. After you cast your first one, immediately. And then Minsk and Boo is a top-end threat. So I think we'll try it. We've got 3 lands. And then we'll have to fetch an untapped land with Wooded Foothills, so that'll be, you can either get basic forest or a shock land. We'll lead with the tap land, because we don't have a turn 1 play. And I think we'll draw some more ramp. Overgrown Tomb with Wooded Foothills. So that way, at least in principle, we have all the colors. And then I'm liking either Twitching Doll or Armored Scrap Gorger. I guess we'll go with Scrap Gorger since it's easier to enable. And we cascade into Avacyn's Pilgrim. Opponent has something they can do for 1 mana. They bounce my Scrap Gorger, so it's a good thing I cascaded into another mana creature. An opponent does not have any 0 mana cards. Now the downside is that because they bounce Scrap Gorger, I won't be able to play a 4-drop like OG or Nahiri next turn. Opponent plays Oracle of the Alpha. Well, that was a setback. Buried in the Garden. I think I need to look for land here. Mox Amber. Not doing any good until I get a legendary creature out. So hopefully we can get OG down, or Nahiri. either one. Opponent plays Relic of Legends, Cascades into Llanowar Elves. No land. Now, if I play Nahiri or OG, then Mox Amber is active, but unfortunately it doesn't produce green mana. We cascade into Leaf Kindred.
I will have revenge for Zendikar.
And I think we'll exile Oracle of the Alpha here.
The bedrock quakes with my rage!
So you do indeed get multiple Cascade triggers. Opponent has 3 mana. Still no land. I can still play something like Xanathar. I could play my commander. I guess the most mana efficient play is Xanathar. Let's look for land here. So I'll discard Druid of the Anima.
Won't be tempered.
No land. Could play Teferi, but then my creatures will all be tapped, unless of course I cascade into a creature. I think to protect our Planeswalker, we'll play Xanathar here. Get Paradise Druid. Opponent Brainstorms. Also, oh yes, of course, they had the Mucks in, which are 0 mana value cards. With Oracle of the Alpha. So opponent could cascade into cards like Ancestral Recall or Time Walk. And opponent, I cascade into 2 drops, opponent cascades into a Karn's Temporal Sundering. It didn't help that we've been missing land drops, and opponent bounced our mana creatures early. So opponent's taking 2 extra turns, so I think we'll just spare ourselves the trouble and concede now. That was too bad. Better luck next time. On we go. On the play, Leafkin Druid into Crom seems pretty good, so we'll try it. We've got 3 lands. They tap land on one. These with tap land as well. Twitching Doll. I go with Twitching Doll here. Sure. Cascade into Llanowar Elves. I can play Crom and tap land. We hit Sylvan Scrying. Let's get a World Tree. And we can play that as our tap land. Opponent plays land 3. Plays Slime against Humanity. And hits Assemble the Team with Cascade. Not sure what the wait is for. I'm glad it's not me just having disconnected. So it looks like with Slime Against Humanity, the Cascade exiles other copies, and those count toward the slime size. Oh, never mind. It's back to 2. So that's because the cards go back into your library before the spell resolves. Alright, Elvish Mystic. If I fetch an untapped land, I can play Rakdos. We'll get a Swamp. And for what it's worth, we have all basic land types for Domain. Finding the Old Gods seems a bit much to destroy just a 2/2, but I want to trigger Crom, so we'll cast it. And we draw 2 off Rakdos, because opponent doesn't have any non-token, non-land permanents to sacrifice. One plays Goreclaw. And then it doesn't much matter what land I play. It's tapped anyway, so we'll get a tri-land. And then let's cast Teferi. Cascade into Rashmi. There we go, that's more like it. And that's enough for opponent. Alright. We'll take it. On we go. I keep forgetting to show the reward for winning games. So let's see what our first individual card reward is. Scrawling Crawler. Alright, there we go. Okay. Now it's on we go. Alright. Only 2 lands. We do have Birds of Paradise. Nael only has 3 land types for domain. I think we try and look for a hand with 3 lands. Alright. 3 lands, plus Avacyn's Pilgrim and Grimflare. We're on the play. Let's try. Avacyn's Pilgrim, it is true, does not help us cast Grimflare. We hit Mishra's Bauble. Might as well use it. Opponent is drawing Defenestrated Phantom. Draw Llanowar Elves. I think our play is still Grimflare. So we'll shock in Watery Grave. Fetch land will be good to put in the graveyard with Grimflare to help enable Delirium. Don't leave with tap land. So they could play Defenestrated Phantom face down. We get Birds of Paradise. So I can't quite cast the Locust God, even if I fetch an untapped land with Scalding Tarn. Opponent ramps with Twitching Doll. It's an X spell. Those aren't ideal in a Cascade deck because they're terrible to cascade into. So if we fetch an untapped land, we could cast Kenrith. But I don't mind the thought of casting Buried in the Garden to exile Twitching Doll and deny opponent ramp. And then I can enchant any land. So I think we'll fetch a basic land to put attach Buried in the Garden to. That's usually a safer bet than a non-basic land in case opponent's playing Field of Ruin or that type of effect. We hit Leyline Prowler, that's nice. And that's enough for opponent. Alright. on we go. Oh, wait. Hang on. I keep forgetting. Let's look at our rare card reward. One of these days I'll remember when I'm doing a Midweek Magic video, and it's Gems from Murders at Karlov Manor. Bit of a surprise, I don't have a large collection of cards from Murders at Karlov Manor, but anyway, there we go. Alright, on we go. On the play, we've got some ramp, 4 lands. I think we can keep this. Facing Bonnie Paul Clear Cutter. So opponent probably also ramp deck. Mishra's Bauble. I guess getting a redraw is pretty good. And then I think we'll lead with Poison Dart Frog, so we have the option of casting Tender Offspring, Wild Guide, I mean, with its Offspring ability. Hit Llanowar Elves. And then we can play Kenrith next turn with an untap. And that's enough for opponent. Okay. That sometimes happens in Midweek Magic, where people concede right away. There's no pressure to continue playing if you don't like how things are going, because you can't get kicked out of the event. Well, let's see our cosmetic reward. Parallax card style, the most common type of cosmetic on Arena, so no surprise that that's what we get. Anyway, so that's our Cascade Brawl deck. We played a decent variety of mana values. We tended to hit the lower mana values, I noticed, when we cascaded, even with more expensive cards. But there were a couple times when we got a good hit. Like when we played one of our 4 mana cards and we hit Leyline Prowler one game. Anyway, so I hope you enjoyed. Thanks very much for watching. If you'd like to see a Brawl deck featuring a new commander, let me know in the comments. If you thought I should have made any plays differently, also let me know. And I hope you enjoyed. Thanks again. Bye.